now we got to flip to the right side up to get to the right side of the infinity loop to ascend to the 5D.
Wow.
Right? So now we ascend to the 5D because I'm telling the motherfucker everything you need to know to get his shit straight. I don't care if they talk about me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's their personal problem.
That's right. That's facts.
If they really had a real issue, they'll pull the fuck up. I ain't hard to find.
Right.
I ain't ducking, I ain't hiding.
I heard
But
that.
I'm gonna tell them everything they need to do to get their own shit together. This shit is over with.
Right.
But they don't gotta believe me. But when they watch, they gonna see.
That's right.
There's no doubt about it.
Right? So, Mama said your job gonna be hard, but you a hard worker.
That's right.
I said, what that means? She said, you smart, you'll figure it out. So that pissed me off as usual. I ain't that smart. I know a whole bunch of motherfuckers are smarter than me. They ain't got no motherfucking Weibos though. Apparently.
I heard that.
They don't know how to put the puzzle together, apparently.
I
don't gotta be smarter than them to be skilled at putting the puzzle together.
Right.
My mama had me putting puzzles together since I could walk.
Love it.
So it's naturally like a second talent for putting together puzzles.
Right? You got to give yourself more credit than that. You got to give yourself more credit than that because there's a whole bunch of pretenders out here.
Let them keep pretending, and we gonna keep winning.
That's right.
I just be tell it like it is. I mean, shit, I can't do no more than that. I can only tell it like it is. They don't have to like it. They don't have to agree with me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have to give a fuck, and I can continue to be right.
That's right.
And they can be wrong as they want to be.
That's right.
I don't got a problem with that. I don't got nothing to do with me. They got their own journey to walk. You know, they got their own mishaps to fall through.
That's real. That's real.
You know? So all you gotta do is stay true to yourself. They gonna wake up sooner or later.
That's right.
Yeah.
On one side of life or the other.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Yep.
They be like them when I be nutting up on here for some reason. I don't know why do that up.
That's in us, bro. It's in the real one. The real one is something that resonates. Right. It resonates.
Right.
We get a thrill out of it. And some of us think we need to suppress that all the way, but no, we got to let that stay close to us, you know? We just got to master it.
It's the gorilla key. The gorilla key is called the fuck it key.
Yep.
Yes. Love it.
Yep.
I said, Daddy, what we gonna do about the people down there? Fuck them.
Right.
As long as they don't come down here, fuck them.
Right.
That's right.
They can kiss when the sun don't shine, or they can kiss the sun itself. It don't matter to me.
Right.
I just do what I do.
I love it.
I heard that.
I love it.
I heard that. You can love everybody. Try to. Like, some ain't even capable.
I ain't even try to love everybody, but I'm gonna love everybody that love me.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
All that love your enemy shit, that's mama shit. That ain't mine.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that, the enemy part.
But I respect my adversary if he's a worthy opponent.
Right.
I respect my adversary if you're a worthy opponent.
You got to. You better.
But if he's just somebody that like an ankle biter chasing the mailman,
yeah.
I walk with motherfucking big dogs. That shit don't move me.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It don't move me. My give a fuck meter just will not move for that shit.
I heard that, bro.
I love it.
That's what's up. Man, this is amazing.
This is really good.
Yeah. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity to sit and visit with you, my brother, for real. For real. And I want to say thank you for offering that insight to my question. You know, I mean, it just from an early child, it just resonated with me that I was in a very special place. The energy and the love, because that's where people came from around the world to experience the hospitality that we give just from our hearts, that we gave from this gentrification and doing what it's doing, you know, but it's still, even in this day and time, people still rave about and how the reception that they get and how much the people love them. But the crazy part is we love the people from somewhere else more than we're going to love each other right there in our own city, you heard me?
No, don't believe that. Try to take Mardi Gras from New Orleans and see how that's all you got to do if you think I'm bullshit.
No, I get you on that. I'm just talking about on a day-to-day basis. Somebody can come from somewhere else, right? Come through the city and the people open them, take them in with open arms, feed them, drink them, whatever they're going to do, right? But they ain't got no time for somebody that sounds just like them. That might come from uptown and they come from downtown, vice versa. You feel me?
This is why. Because if your family don't fuck with you like that, they don't trust you.
Yeah.
They don't trust you. Just because you might be from the other side of town. They want to know, nigga, why you ain't hanging out with your family, with your cousins and them?
No, that's real.
Why you over here with us?
That's real.
Y'all, you supposed to be over there with your people. Why you over here with my people? Nigga, what's your angle, nigga? Right? I don't know. Mama, I don't know if I can trust that nigga. He don't fuck with his family enough. He ain't close enough to his people, so how you can't be that close to us? You know? That's how New Orleans see past the immediate connection to the deeper connection. If your family don't trust you, my family not gonna trust you either. Right? And they get, pushed to the fringes of the family so now they trying to find somewhere else. So New Orleans know how to lead each other.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Two niggas from New Orleans can meet up in Alaska and know exactly what the fuck going on without saying a word.
No, that's real, bro. I mean, for real. That's real.
And one of them go. Now I'm gonna go. And be gone about their business. They had a whole conversation. New Orleans style. Right? Especially as they get older in the country.
Right.
But so when you come from out of town, you could be a wayfarer or a traveler. So they extend the hospitality to the outsider.
Okay.
Your hospitality first must come from you. If your family love you and be wanting you always come and shit, then they gonna all want you to come to their shit too. The harder your family pulling them away from you, the harder they gonna pull on you. But when you don't fuck with your people, they don't fuck with you. That's just the way it is.
Interesting.
And that's why you had to go learn New Orleans to know how to navigate anywhere else in the country.
I heard that.
Everything's all of the richness of the cultures, that's the heartbeat.
Right.
The Big Easy.
Right.
That's true.
All of these other cities has got different names. Chicago, the city of thieves. AKA Thebes, Egypt.
Oh, okay.
Right? Tricky with the language. Remember we were talking about that English in the babies?
Right.
With the language.
No doubt about it.
They was telling us it's the city of thieves all the time. We was talking they were saying thieves because the motherfucker steal something.
Shit, when you first said it, that's what I thought you were saying.
Me too.
Chicago will muscle your ass before they steal it from you.
Wow.
They'll take it from you before they steal it from you.
Wow.
The same with Detroit. They'll take it from you before they steal it from you. But that don't mean they don't got some thieves.
Right.
But then you got the ones that understand that they a thief. They not small time no more. Like in Chicago, they call them cannons. They still on the high end shit. Why would I steal that old broke ass lady down there? I ain't no rogue.
Yeah, I heard that.
If I'm gonna steal something, I want something big. Shit, I want to get it from a motherfucker that got insurance.
I heard that. Yeah.
So I can go use it for my benefit, and insurance is gonna take care of them. Them dirty motherfuckers need to pay somebody something. All these goddamn premiums and shit.
Right.
And they don't want to do a payout when the time come to pay. Sitting on big coffers of money, fuck that. We set our family banks up. We have our own family insurance company.
That's right.
Fucker.
That's right.
Yeah. That's why New Orleans that big ass boot for ass kicking.
That's right.
Michigan is the right hand for slapping them motherfuckers across the face for thinking we was dumb.
Heard that.
I just talk with a country accent sometimes. I ain't really motherfucking slow. Country accent don't equal slow, motherfucker. It just means that we speak the wrong language.
Don't. Right.
So I drag your ass up yonder, leave you parked out bitch side that motherfucking log over there. Lawman might find you if you can make it to the road again. I'm just saying. You got to know the land. You got to know the layout. You have to understand how your people move.
That's right.
And then they go, he one of the chiefs. I know who the fuck he is talking like that talk. You know, so you know what it is. Now give me my fried chicken and cornbread and leave me alone.
I heard that, big bro.
So great.
I heard that.
Yes.
Man.
Look, my most prominent past life memory overlap multiple past lives is one of my favorite memories. It happened over and over again. Go to Big Mama house, I'm a little boy. She go in the kitchen, she pulled the cloth off the bowl, and one bowl got squares of cornbread, and the other bowl got fried chicken legs.
Yes, indeed. Both of them hot.
But they keep them out there for the people coming passing through, because Big Mama gonna make sure you eat something before you leave.
Oh, that's right.
And we ain't have what we call candy stores, right? We didn't have snacks like that, like shit. So we fuck some cornbread up all day long.
You know that's right.
You know,
my great grandmother would boil some corn at 10 o'clock at night. That'd be your snack. Take the husk off and everything and boil the corn.
You pull the husk back like a popsicle stick. Roll it around in the butter.
Man.
Oh yeah.
You better tell somebody.
Big Mom be like, "Don't you spill that butter on my floor." I just got done mopping.
So me and my wife was had this question too, bro. And I know this is a little bit off the beaten path for you. But back in the day, I don't care when you went by Big Mama house, she gonna whip up. First of all, the house gonna be immaculate, right? Then, if you hungry, she gonna go in there and have something already fixed.
All the time.
And you gonna love what she have fixed already.
Yeah, because
no microwave, no nothing.
No nothing.
Big Mama has 50 motherfuckers coming through there every hour. What the fuck?
You know, I never thought about it from that
That's
aspect.
true.
Thank you for that enlightenment.
She always got a new pot of something cooking when something just got done. So when people come, they eat all that shit up and something for the next person.
Right.
But everybody used to go out to Big Mama Farm and help her put the food up. And she got 15 aunties in the back, snapping peas, shucking corn, cutting corn off the cob for the fried corn meals. Got the motherfuckers milling the corn, all that shit going on in the Big Mama backyard.
Yeah, you're right.
So then they came over, turned them into concentration camps for POWs. They took Mama name out of Big Mama house. They just called it the Big House.
I heard that.
Like you're stupid to see what the fuck you doing.
Okay. Interesting.
You can't hand me my coat and tell me you gave me something.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Motherfucker, it's already my coat. What the fuck?
Right.
It's already my coat.
Right.
Yeah, but they had all that going on. And the uncles, they be out there fixing on, well, back then they were fixing on different stuff, horse carriages in the South. So it ain't like we couldn't make power motherfucking vehicles. It's just that it was more compatible and equitable for the land for us, the horse and the carriage.
Right.
We had electrical shit. The first cars was made by us, and they was electrical, and we only would use them to go far distances. Why I don't understand why they got to keep charging these cars up when back then we had electrical cars that would run for months before you need to charge.
Wow. Yeah.
And sometimes with the chargers, all you got to do is put water in your motherfucking battery. You're supposed to produce, as long as some water in that, as long as that liquid is keeping that conduction going, you're supposed to have electricity.
Yeah.
You know, some shit called a lithium battery. That's not smart.
No.
Not sustainable.
You took some real simple shit and made it complicated so you could get more money for it.
That's what it all go back to. That's what it all go back to. That's why they're trying to supplement everything because they took all the technology that was compatible with the mother, they corrupted it, bastardized it just to monetize it.
Yep. But that's all right.
It's all right.
Because as Tupac say, back for everything they owe, no longer oppressed. So now we overthrow those that placed us in this rotten mess. It's a wrap for their ass.
You're right.
I love it.
Yeah, you're right.
I love it.
It's a great time to be alive, my brother.
It's
a great time to be alive.
Great
I don't care
time.
what they keep pumping up through that propaganda. You know, they just pumping that fear. But if they try so hard to get that fear into you, that the opposite got to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The opposite got to be because they're spending too much money to make you afraid.
Right.
That whole World Trade Center stuff was to slow everything down. It was the mass trauma.
No doubt about it.
Definitely.
No doubt about it.
Starting to wake up. Hurry up. Traumatize them. Fly plane into the building. But that was really knock 3 on the Scottish Rite telling us that we only got a certain amount of time before they try to make their move to take over.
I heard that.
Because the first one was the first World Trade Center in 91. Then it was the Federal Building in 94, 95. And then it was the 9/11. Three knocks.
Yeah.
Right. And then when the third knock, they stole a couple billion tons of gold from under the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
That's why they had to blow that motherfucker up.
Wow.
Because of the amount of wealth. It was the George Bush family. George Herbert Walker Bush ordered that. Every president between him and Trump, he owned them.
I heard that.
Trump refused to report to him, and the electorate knew that it was coming to close of the age. But before Trump could take power, they had to get rid of Bush. Because Bush was running the CIA, and they had secret intelligence connections around the world. And he was the highest ranked member of the invaders that came over here on this part of the land. He came in as a press guy, but he became a Bush. Right? They came in as bankers, but his the old man press guy told him to go into the intelligence community. You say because that's the only way he was going to be able to sink his fingers deep enough in to the society to take it over. So the Skull and Bones was the ones that was backing him, and them was the pirates.
Okay.
Conquistadors.
Yeah.
Spanish Moorish. Yeah. So them the ones who was the power source behind his operation. They thought because we went into a Kali Yuga to do the 200-year Kanja War that they were just going to be able to do what they want.
Right.
But the mind of man can never circumscribe the mind of God.
Hell no.
So why they sitting there thinking they're going to go to war with God, them some silly motherfuckers.
Right.
You're going to never be Big Mama no matter how you try it. Because she got a boy for every last one of you motherfuckers to put you back in your place.
That's right.
No matter where you come from, no matter how big and bad you think your ass is, one of her boys gonna step up to the plate and find the problem.
Right.
And when we don't know what the problem is, we're gonna all pick a different part of the problem to try to fix. According to what we already know.
Right. Right.
I'm just got a habit of putting together the puzzles and got a habit of reading the culture.
I heard that.
Right? Nerd life, y'all know the rules, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
You know, so I just paid attention to shit most motherfuckers don't pay attention to. My monkey man, he was playing monkey in the middle and I was catching the keys.
Yeah, I heard that, bro. But your recall is amazing. I mean, that's God level, no doubt about it.
For sure.
I mean, there's consuming information, there's comprehending the information that you consume, then there's recalling that information at the appropriate time.
Right.
And beyond part, my brother. I mean, it's
amazing.
They always say we not from monkeys. Ain't nobody never said we was from monkeys. I said that the Anunnaki called us.
See, there they go. There they go.
They can't even get the information right.
Right.
I said the Anunnaki called us monkeys, and that's why our priest was called monks.
But then took that little bit of miss part they heard and ran the whole other gamut with it. You heard me?
Yeah, he got his own. He heard what he wanted to hear instead of what
Right.
I said.
Right. But that's okay. Everybody ain't supposed to come.
That motherfucker probably looked just like a goddamn ape in the face. Talking about we ain't monkeys. He probably looked more like a monkey than everybody else.
He was feeling some type of way. Nigga talking about my people, nigga. You ain't talking about my people.
Hey, these motherfuckers don't know what they be doing. They just be talking outside of their neck. That should be funny to me sometimes. I be like, what were these motherfuckers? Run up on me. Yeah, he got his banana in the tailpipe.
There you go.
There you go. The brain is the tailpipe that's clogged up. He don't even know. He don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we used to have corn festivals. Cornmeal, corn dishes from all over the land. I remember I got to be the judge one time. Wow, I ate so much corn, I thought I was going to grow out the motherfucking stalk.
Man, you better not say nothing bad about no corn with these grits. All the grits I done ate in my life, man. You better not say nothing bad about no corn.
Oh, yeah. Shit, I'll fuck some grits up, too, with some eggs.
Ooh, I can get up right now and go fix some grits and eggs. What you talking about?
Well, I remember waking up early on Sunday mornings, and Big Mama be cooking or Mama be cooking, and you can smell that food cooking in the kitchen.
What you mean? Sunday morning, yeah.
Yeah, grits and sugar. Don't forget the butter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, bro. You know, down south, I ain't never heard of sugar and grits until I went north. Now, I think I was sure the first time I heard of sugar and grits, and I'm looking at them like they crazy. What you mean, sugar and your grits?
You know, before Gerber came out, the babies used to eat pot liquor and grits, pot liquor and cornbread.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
I heard that.
Pot liquor and different kinds of breads. Then make them mash it up. Feed it to the little babies. I remember all that shit like it was yesterday.
I heard that. Yeah, man.
I used to sugar and butter on rice. I got that from India, though, from one of my lives over there.
What's that?
Butter and sugar on rice.
Butter, sugar, and rice. I heard that. Now we eat eggs and rice too now.
Yeah, when I was a baby, that was my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I past life from. They got a meal they make in India that's similar to that.
Oh, okay.
But it's made with ghee butter, sugar, and then they got some kind of like little spice, a little hint of spice in it. Yeah. When I was little, I used to remember it because I used to always be asking for it. But they used to give me butter, sugar, and put it in my rice when I be asking for it. Because they didn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, but they didn't know what I was talking about. So I used to be testing with I'd be like, I want the rice with the butter and the sugar. But they use I think they might use honey over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was sweet rice with a little bit of spice to it. It was made in India.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow, good to know.
Man, oh man.
That milk toast, you put the cornbread in the milk too. Put cornbread in milk.
No.
Cornbread. Yeah, cornbread and buttermilk.
Okay.
I bet I said my grandmother would have ate. I bet she would have ate that.
Yeah. My father ate that up to the end. He ate all that shit. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Cornbread and buttermilk. He didn't like a lot of sweets. You know, so he eat that cornbread and buttermilk is with a good touch of sugar in it.
Yeah.
So it ain't so tart.
Yeah.
We used to mess that up too. When I was little, we used to eat cornbread buttermilk. All that stuff that's carryover culture that we genetically remember, but we don't be knowing where we get it from.
Right.
These children come out asking for stuff that you ain't never cooked, and you want to know why in the hell is they asking for that? They remember it from past lives.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and then it's like taking a comfort food.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I wouldn't eat beets when I was little, but I fuck some beets up right now. But it's a sympathetic connection with my mother. The ones who used to try to figure the problem out instead of going out in the streets marching, I ain't finna do that. Not for my own shit. I'm not finna be out here buck dancing for these people. Not for my own shit. And Mama had to leave me a means to find what's rightfully ours and how to recover it. And one of the things she kept saying to me was always look for the wisdom, right? And so understanding that, I searched through the minds of great thinkers in order to find out what is this stuff they call wisdom. Because if I can't buy it in a bottle, I got to find it somewhere. I'm thinking this as a child. So if I can't find it in a bottle, where am I find it at? Right? So the discovery comes in is you find the wisdom at the feet of the masters. Right? The first master is Mama. So starting from Mama, who says the stuff that gives you the best result when applied to life? And this, as a child, made me pay attention to the elder women. And the elder women was the ones, especially the ones that talk harsh and use profanity. We call them big mamas. They harvest the energy of Prime Creator in order to be guides to the family. Under the patriarchal system, we've been taught to call them old bitches and don't pay them no attention. And they telling us the solution to all of the world's problems, but we ain't listening as a collective. Some of us do. Some of us know if Mama say don't go down that street, something bad gonna happen, go the other way. Because if you go down that street, you're gonna walk right into the BS. I did it 1,000 times because I learned the hard way every time. And the hard lesson is the lesson that you're gonna learn and gonna internalize the deepest. Because it's gonna hurt the most that you keep going through the same foolishness. But when you wise up, that's gonna become entrenched in you as your biggest lessons, the ones that was hardest to learn. And the hardest lesson to learn was at the feet of the masters is to follow the voice of the women who give wise guidance. And you can tell the difference by the character of the women, right? So when I see you on here complain about them calling Noble Drew Ali a false prophet, some in my soul say you can't just let that go. You got to say something. So I said something. A lot of the Moors is like, what is this thing? Where did he come from? I thought he hated all the Moors. I keep telling them over and over, I'm not anti-Moor, I'm anti-dirty Moor. So I started studying great people because I didn't really know what a master was. But the great people's information, they give references to other great people who turns out to be masters, right? And in our community, each one teach one, we all got to reach something. And if we reach enough, we can spread the information. Now, the land, the Mississippian rule, this is deep culture, organic North America. Any culture that comes on the land, we have to have a significant influence on it through the arts and the entertainment. So we can use these things in the time of crisis to communicate the recovery from the oppression or whatever adverse force overtakes us on the land. Now we have to time the solution in order to correctly end the problem. So in the course of the studies, when you run across Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Prince Hall, David Walker, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, you don't look at them in their conflicts, you look at them in their agreements. Right? So they tell us that Du Bois and Garvey don't get along. because Garvey is what you call a totalitarian recovery expert. In other words, he come to recover the whole of the original structures from its original source out of the Blue Lodge, where Du Bois comes from a different angle or perspective of view. He said that only a 10%, what we call the talented 10th, will ever do anything of significance to rise to positions of prominence in any society. Therefore, we should focus on isolating that talented 10th and maximizing the input in the bank, right? Now we go from the talented 10th to a 5%er, right? Because all of the talented 10th is not working in the interest of the collective. Most of them is working in their own self-interest. We don't care about that. You can work in your self-interest, but you have to leave an indelible impression that can be read by future generations to leave a blueprint or a pattern to put the puzzle pieces together on how to recover from the condition, right? So the 5%ers teach that 85% of the people blind, deaf, and dumb and don't know what's going on. And 10% of the people know what's going on and they're not doing nothing about it. But there's 5% of the people that know what's going on that's working to raise the other 85% to awareness to overcome the tyranny of the 1% who was extracted from the 10%. So the 1%ers is what they call the people that's ruling the world as elites. Has a system at play, and if we figure out their system, we can reverse engineer the society in order to find out how to get back to our rights and our ability to reclaim the land based on our birthright to the land at the close of the age. Most of us don't know that it's a universal law that we are obligated by universal law, the organics of the world, at the close of every age, no matter what's going on, to shut it all down. Anything that is destructive to the ends of the collective is dispensed with, and anything found to be a benefit is used as a bridge to the next coming age. So now we leave in the age of Pisces, the water age of believing, to the air age of Aquarius. But remember, the Aquarian man carries a pitcher of water that's being spilled. Water is the symbol for spirit. So what it's telling you is we going from spiritually believing stuff with no information to support why we believe it to the mental aspect of spiritually knowing exactly what we see in the Aquarian age. So earlier I was saying about we had to be able to see the signs significantly enough in order to know when to make our move. Now, I came out to do this work when I came home from prison back in 2008. But everybody I went to shut the door in my face. They all said that I ain't have no degrees, I ain't had no alphabets behind my name, therefore I wasn't qualified, right? But not until Farrakhan gave a speech and Khalid Muhammad left, and he said, "You think I didn't need a brilliant mind like Khalid Muhammad?" Well, Khalid, my man, I'm just like that motherfucker, but I think a little deeper, right? Everything he be saying, I feel that way, but it's one problem. He was trying to go against the rules. He was trying to fight the enemy in the physical when it's a spiritual war taking place, right? You can't fight a physical war that's spiritual. You have to fight the spiritual side and let the effects manifest in the physical arena. In this case, we use universal law weaponized to fight tyranny and oppression around the world. And after you go through the dark night of the soul, you begin to see the pattern in which universal laws apply. And this is where me learning the functions, structure, and intricacies of civics and the changing of rulership in past historical contexts in both hostile situations such as a coup d'etat to more amicable transformations such as a king seceding from the throne and another king ascending in his place. There is a civics solution to the problem. Well, the first time I became aware that there was a civic solution to the problem is when Noble Drew Ali said that I started a civics organization. The contradiction that made me raise an eyebrow is ask, why are they patterning it now as if it's a religion, right? So that took me back to Albert Pike's The Morals and the Dogma. Because under the civics, there's no dogma involved because you're unraveling the legalese. But if you can get them to chase the dogma, they won't really take the civics serious enough in order to exercise a superior jurisdiction to overthrow the imposters on the land, because the only way you can do it is to go back to your original system. Your original system is a matriarchal system based off the oral decree of the chieftains in agreement across the land, that which benefits the most amount of people from each of the clans.
Wouldn't there be a necessity really to go back to the original system? In doing that, wouldn't there be a necessity of shedding ourselves, or divorcing ourselves of all the religious attachments, the dogma that we've taken on to be, Christians, and to be, this denomination, that? I mean, from a standpoint of when we realize that those things were actually put in place to put us under subjection.
Right,
so would we have to shed those in order to get back to the original?
At this point of the discovery process for the collective, they can use whatever path of spiritual development they choose to, as long as they don't turn a blind eye to the other paths, right? And this is where the polarization comes out, as Noble Drew Ali called it, as a religious controversy. We are, remember, we are allelopathic, and we are naturopathic first, right? That means that all things have to go back to a stasis, which is the state of balance, right? So when you abruptly tell somebody who's been in the church for 75 years, hey, drop that some garbage, the shock to their system could cause a healing crisis to a significant degree to make them lose their mind. If you go back to Elijah Muhammad, he said if you wake them up too soon, you're driving crazy. And that's why he used to keep saying, make it plain enough for a baby to understand it.
So
right?
What are we trying to get folks that are steeped in any level of dogma to understand? From what where I come from, having been a pastor for 10 years, mm-hmm. and seeing the good and the ugly, you see it all, and in between.
Okay, so let's use.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying indoctrination, and like you mentioned earlier, 12-step program, and the various, all of these things were things that affects the mind of people. Fear, reverence, so that you don't think outside the box. Having to reverence something that is unseen while ignoring the obvious inside of yourself. All of those things to me have been designed to not allow us to get back to the natural. I mean, you're saying, I know, and I do know what you mean about not waking up folks too soon. I mean, or not all of a sudden. Although for my personal awakening, it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was in a service, and all of a sudden I was snatched out of it in an out of body experience. And the next day, I'm up in the pulpit preaching my swan song, because right after that, everybody's going, because now I'm like you say, crazy. They say about you, I was crazy. But for me, maybe that was the way it had to happen. But for the masses, to get critical mass, and nothing really happens, I don't think, until you get enough minds thinking the same. So in your going through, I want to go back to your dark night of the soul before you get too forward, because you kind of skipped over. You said, when I came out of prison in 2008, but what about those years prior to 2008? How about the time when you were, you ended up apparently veering from what Big Mama was saying, because you were running off, maybe you were running from your calling, but in that captured, if you will, situation, what happened to you there? What were you doing during those times?
So when I first got caught up and locked up, I remember the voice of the sisters that I used to hear give words of wisdom. I was in Cook County Jail. I was in there. I was like on my second or third day in there. And a bald-headed guy named Hawk came with a sister. I can't remember her name. And they were actually Christians. But she wasn't coming with the dogma. She was coming with raw common sense. And one of the things she said was that stuck with me. And she said, some of y'all finna get a lot of time. She said, but don't worry about that. You can't stop that. Put yourself in. There is no escape, even if you want to. She said, but the best thing that you can do is don't let them take the time from you. Use the time. Learn everything you can while you're in there. You don't need no degree, but get your PhD. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that makes so much sense. So this, if I apply this to my prison term, if I get time out of this, and I apply what she's saying, when I get out of prison, I can have the knowledge of a professor at a university in the amount of time that I'm about to get, that I don't know I'm about to get this much time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in the end, they gave me 18 to 50 years in prison. Right? And during my my Cook County stint, well, it was like a year and a half, I end up coming across, I just started realizing that all of the most potent members of our community, the organic indigenous people, was in these cages. Right? And I got introduced by different ones, by different people. Like the leader of the Maniac Disciples, name is Ferg. I met my cousin, introduced me to him on our way to court. Right? Then in the bullpen, it was some BGs, black, what they call black gangsters, that was high ranking, and he introduced me to them. Right? I had a vice lord introduced me to Willie Lord. And it was kind of odd to me when he done that, because we walking through the day room, he calling me over there where his chief at to introduce me to his chief. But he told me beforehand, he said, man, I want to introduce you to Willie Lord. Right? And I was like, okay. And because we was watching him on the news get arrested. And when he got in there, he was downstairs in a cell block called ABO in Division 1. So he came up on a visit. They brought him up to A1 where I was at. And so Lil J, who was a 4-star elite vice lord, he said, come here, man, I want you to meet somebody. And he walked over, he said, stay right here. So I'm standing on the other side of the day room, and he went and said a couple words to Willie Lord, and he waved me over there. He said, hey, Lord, I want you to meet him, man. And he told me who I was. His name Rod. And back then, I was studying with a Nation of Islam guy named Everett X, who was teaching me about, now this is all within the first year of being locked up. But he was teaching me Nation of Islam doctrine. And they was calling me Rod X. Right? But they was calling me that like a nickname because I hang out with the Nation of Islam guy all the time. But they all knew that I was under the GD banner. And so when he introduced me to Willie Lord, the whole day room stopped talking and they looking. And what he said caught my attention. He said, hey, Lord, this one right here, this the one. I don't know what that shit means. Right? And he shook my hand and he says, it's good to meet you, young brother. He said, stay on the straight and narrow. That's all he said. He didn't give me no conversation. We didn't go into nothing. We just greeted each other, but he told me to stay on the straight and narrow. I know what that means from church, and I know what that means from Everett. And we discussed it. Right? Staying on the straight and narrow means walk straight. Right? Don't let these people push you off your path.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when Everett X had to leave, he went upstate, and the last thing I told him, I was like, man, this is a big deal. I don't know if I could do it. He looked at me, and I could see the Elijah Muhammad in his face when he started smiling. He said, oh, you got this. And then he recited the story of Hiram Abiff. And he said, you're going to need that later. And then I heard Farrakhan go over the story of Hiram Abiff. Right? And when I started studying the story, after I got out of prison, I started seeing certain events unfolding that was unnerving to me, because this was starting to tell me there's a Masonic connection to my birthright. So now I have to study the lodges deeper than I already have, because I was going through a secret society investigation while I was studying with the Nubians in prison. So I was going through each secret society, reading entire text on them, where Malachi had a book out called Secret Societies Unmasked, where he got a little part about all of them. So I started to get books from their perspective about their doctrine, right? But it became more enhanced when I came home, right? And so during the course of these years, normally my temperament, I would have been, what they call ready to ride. I was always ready to ride, but it had to be one condition. I got to be right. The only reason why I feel like that is because my mama used to tell me when I was little that don't start nothing and you're going to always win it. You got to always be in the right. So I don't start nothing, but I sure finish it. I don't got no problem finishing it. And I remember my father saying that a man always moves straight. He said, man, don't do all that funny, swervy, shifty stuff. That's not how he was talking to his friends in our garage. So this was one of my lessons on being a man from my father that really impacted my life, because I always came at people straight. And mama said, respect those who respect you. But you got to give respect to get respect. That means if I'm at your house, in order for me to get respect at your house, I got to first give you respect. I got to come in peace in order to receive peace and the blessing upon arrival. So everywhere I went, I held that in the forefront of my mind. And everybody that I met them from a level of respect, and it was returned. And this is why, as a GD, I'm over in Motown on 50th in May, living in the complex in an all-stone neighborhood. The only folks is on 50th place, right? So I gave them their respect because that's their land. I already know to honor them on their land and give them their due respect. And they drew an attachment to me from being respectable and being respectful of their place. So I ran into a couple of confrontations with some of the stones, but it was always resolved in a manner of respect. So I didn't ever have a problem with stones and vice lords being stones and vice lords. I didn't never see them as enemies because I knew we had the same enemies. So I didn't know how to categorize what I'm looking at, but I know that whoever it is that's infiltrating stones and vice lords is the same people infiltrating the GDs. I understand the literature of the GDs, and I understand the literature that I was given by vice lords, and I understand the literature that I was given orally by stones and Crips and Bloods. And I'm seeing a pattern that this is the behavior that's ancient on the land. If this behavior is ancient on the land, I got to see it somewhere else. Here, lo and behold, it emerges. It's the structure of the Nation of Islam. It's the structure of the 5% nation. It's the structure of Yahweh ben Yahweh's Hebrew Israelites. It's a repeating pattern. It's a tribal structure from the top to the bottom. How we used to perform in the old ways where we was in all parts of the land, but we never had conflicts with people on their portion of the land. Because we understood that who we are is predicated up on honoring those in respect when you in their house. You can't come in somebody's house and just superimpose your will. So whoever the imposter is the ones who came in our house and is doing what we don't normally do.
Makes sense.
So when I start tracing it back, I end up with the 32-degree Scottish Rite, Morals and Dogma, George Washington, Albert Pike, um, um, the guy that started the Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt.
Mm.
3 different personas of the same person. But most people can't see the pattern. I couldn't see the pattern originally until I was studying forensic profiling and the mechanics of it. And I wanted to do a forensic profile on the biblical God character, which turned out horrible, by the way. Turned out horrible. Turns out that he's a sociopathic narcissist, early bedwetter, who has mama issues and daddy issues and don't know his own identity and sexuality, who feels that he should be held in superiority to other people just because who he is, where other people become less than him. This biblical God character can't be no God. He got to be some kind of mortal masquerading as a God through written literature. Because that's not the characteristics of the God form. So that came from a Q&A that I had in Saginaw Correctional Facility with some University of Michigan psychologists who came to do a lecture at the prison. And during the course of the lecture, I had asked them, had anybody done a psychological evaluation of the biblical God character, because I couldn't find it. And they assured me that as far as they knew, one of them had like 35 years in psychiatry and psychology. One was a psychologist for over 45 years. The other one was a psychiatrist for over 40 years. And none of them had heard of anybody having the audacity to do a psychological profile. And since it became known on this character from the Bible.
Now, with
always would listen to you, how you would say, it's time to take the kids out of school. So I literally finally did that. It was such a struggle. So I'm just like waiting now, and just having that freedom of being able to talk to my kids and let them know what's going on and getting them prepared, things like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know what's going on, so they really can't tell their children. So they just gonna run into a lot of stuff in the blind.
Right.
How the babies like being home instead of going to class?
Oh, they love it. They love it. My son is 11, my daughter's 6, but they are very in tuned and like they understand. Look, come say hi to Uncle Rod. They was like, Mom, are you gonna go live? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna request. Come say hi. Don't say hi.
Come say hi. Don't be shy. Hey, how you doing? Look at you. You so cute.
Oh, what do you say?
Yeah, she's kind of shy still.
Yeah. Look, my son just sitting here with his mouth open. Jay, say hi. Say hi.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Yeah, so I've been explaining to them how, a lot of things are changing and things are shifting, and they're interested in it and they're in tune and they have their own, input and things like that. But I'm just like, the more I look at things, like, it just seems like a never ending nightmare sometimes. I'm just like, why can't people just see how if we just all come together and like just think on one accord, like it feels like it would just push it forward, you know, and it'll be like a bigger change. I don't know, because I'm literally just sitting here just.
So the last thing we looking to see is we looking for the people, Haiti, to do a Sweetwater return ceremony. That means that they got the message, they understand the mission, and they take care of their part of the business.
Mhm.
So they got a core Army engineers on standby to go and help clean up in the city of Port-au-Prince, where they got trash damn near waist deep. They're gonna come
Mm.
through with bulldozers and clean all that shit up.
Mm.
But while they doing that, the people of the land, the natives, the organic people to the land, are going to be having festival gatherings and giving out care packages to everybody that come through there.
Oh, okay.
And
So.
then the people that's the leadership is going to have to structure it where we can get supplies out into the thickets too, because you got people that live back in the sticks. They don't fuck with the regular people in the city.
Mhm. Mhm. Did you ever figure out if they were having a celebration in Brazil or what was going on there?
I don't know. Okay, so that the way that the war conjure is working is looking like to me, everybody is flipping signs saying "Go Haiti, go Haiti,"
Mhm.
because all of these ceremonies and these like sports events with all this yellow, that's because they giving the Oshun not the okay.
Oh, okay.
So when Haiti get the message, they do their ceremony and they turn this shit into Mardi Gras everywhere.
Oh, wow. Looking forward to that.
Me too. It's gonna be everywhere. That's why they was talking about the wall.
Mhm.
Because when the kings don't hit the land, you're not gonna be able to stop them people from crossing the border. They coming.
Right. Right.
It's now in our history when we have this happen before. They always try to stop the people from coming from the north to the south and coming from the south to the north. They always tried to stop that. That's part of the process when you closing out the age,
Right.
right? So you pushing against the forces of nature, and then forces of nature push back harder. That move the energy in the direction it's supposed to go.
Right. Mm.
Yeah. So we know what we're looking for.
Mhm.
We just gotta now do what we can to get the. I did a documentary to give a detailed description of what's going on energetically and what it has to do with Haiti around the world, because the Haitians sent soldiers to fight in the Gullah Wars that was riding that revolutionary energy.
Mm.
So when they had to close it out in Florida first, and now Haiti has to call the ocean Sweetwaters back, which caused back the people who opened the conjure to begin with state recognition. We know who they are now.
Mhm.
So they can get their honors once they do their ceremony down there to call Oshun, which is also calling them back to get their honors. That's what changes all of the energy.
Mm. Okay. So there's nothing in particular, like there's no like seconds, like there's no trick, nothing triggers it or what? Or is the trigger with more people waking up to what's going on?
It's going to be the catalyst to the global awakening.
Okay.
See, Haiti is the ground zero for the global awakening,
Mm.
right? So once they pop, it's like a nuclear explosion. Everybody gonna start waking up.
I want to see that excitement. That's what I'm that's what I'm waiting
Yeah,
for.
because it's freedom finally comes
Yeah.
after a long drawn out process of suffering and oppression.
Yes. I can remember working and I remember writing in my journal. I was at work and I was writing in my journal. I felt this overwhelming feeling of like doom. Like I'm just like, I can't keep doing this. It was so heavy on me. I'm just like, this can't be it. Just working and paying bills. Like, this can't be it.
We supposed to be going to visit all the other tribal communities of the world. The women supposed to be getting trading cooking secrets and shit and all that kind of shit.
Mhm.
So whatever kind of different cultural things that they want, we supposed to chaperone women around the world to meet their sisters around the world.
Mhm.
They cut the global network off and the divide and conquer,
Mhm.
right? So now we coming out to divide and conquer. We got to get back to the women feeling comfortable enough to be around the sisters so that they can identify the frauds. You see, they've been so traumatized by the frauds that some women can't tolerate other women.
Right.
That's part of the conjure,
Right.
right? So to get past that, they have to learn to trust other women again. And after what they probably went through in a prior life, it's difficult.
Mhm.
So that's why the doula center serves so many purposes for the community. I was surprised that Earth allowed them to remove them and replace them with these hospitals. Because at the doula center, they help to do the women's group that use mitochondrial love energy to heal each other in a group.
Mhm.
Right? That's what the sister Hadia was doing with the goddess glow up. And that's why I always get that as a reference because she already doing it. And then you can go look at what she's doing and even see what it looked like.
Right.
And for the sisters really in tune, not only will they see it, they'll feel it.
Mm.
And they'll say that's what I need to do for my healing. And then they'll, either organize their own or participate in her next session.
Right. And that's what also helps with the healing or like trauma from past. Yeah.
Yeah. When you turn the mitochondrial up, it's like just like turning the healing on.
Mhm.
The placebo effect then gets multiplied by thousands when enough women is congregated in that energy.
Mhm.
That's part of the Sybil effect.
And it
You know,
only takes that one time, or is it something that happens over like in a as for process, or does it just take
well,
like?
the women can turn it up in enough places on the planet where when you leave, the other women that's vibrating on that frequency help keep your energy up,
Okay.
right? And then the effect that it have on men, some of them women gonna love that shit.
Right.
They gonna love that shit. But when you don't know how to use your feminine energy to positively affect a man, then you don't know what you're missing in your
Mhm.
relationship.
Mhm. Yeah. So I have one question. Well, another question. My aunt would always tell me that I look just like her mom, and as a child growing up, I'd never understand. I would always hear her say it, but I never understood it. And then once, as I was an adult, she sent me a picture, and I literally look just like her. And
Was
I
she
just
gone before you was born?
no, no. But we weren't close to her though. Like it seemed it's a lot of unsettled things going on
Yeah,
on my mom's side. So
yeah. There's a lot of families like that. They gotta
mhm,
clean that shit up.
okay. And I
Everybody
felt
gonna have to. Yeah, they gonna have to face it sooner or later.
yeah. I feel like we're so close. I feel like I get these uploads or whatever, and one time like my entire crown chakra was just lit up one night, and I was getting all these messages, and it was from my mom because she passed away too, and it was from my grandma, and clear as day, like she was literally telling me, giving me information to tell other people. And then I feel like now that my aunt she wants to put together a family group, and it just seems very like small talk. And I want to be the one to just be like, okay, who needs to say something, get something off their chest. Cause I just feel like it's just like, good morning. Hey, how's it going? Just like small stuff. But I feel like there's like so much stuff that needs to just
But
be,
instead of people trying to get it off their chest, they talk about what if we heal from this.
mm,
To put it in the quality or the probability of healing increases the possibility of the healing. So instead of just dumping what's on your chest off your chest, say, let's see if we can heal from this. And this is the
Right.
thing I want us to, you confront generational curses.
Yeah.
Personality quirks are natural, but to stay in the long-term divisive family feud, that's not natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural that you're the same age as your cousin, and every time y'all trying to outdo each other when you get to Big Mama house, and then y'all try to make teams. That's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But to get in y'all 30s and y'all still trying to keep the teams up instead of joining forces, that's not natural.
Right.
Because the natural progression of life is supposed to teach you the value of family and the value of family unity and the strengths that come with it. So then the petty beefs, all of those fall to the side. The most
Mm-hmm.
traumatic ones for us to going to be to heal from is that secret squirrel in the family sexual abuse.
Yeah.
That's going to be the hardest one to heal from. Because don't nobody want to admit their favorite uncle is a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
Or their favorite auntie, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do it
Wow.
too.
Okay. Okay. So it must be something because since you brought that up, that has happened on my dad's side, but not it happened on my dad's side, and I feel like the person that did it, they tried to see where my head was at, and I'm like, oh no, this shit ain't going down. And to me, it's not even the fact of like, oh, I knew that you did it to other people and now you did it to me. It's about like the fact that he still feels like he can do it. So I want to know, like, how I was trying to figure it out was like, okay, I've already told his wife
Before
about
they
it.
destroyed the sisterhood, they used to have a gathering of mothers,
Hmm.
right? And to discuss how they would deal with it. And his age is always a key factor,
Hmm.
right? Because you expect a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old to do something, but you don't expect the same behavior out of a 30-year-old,
Right.
right? So the mothers would use that as a gauge, the tool, and then they go over his history and his family history to find out how best to help him, or if we just need to get rid of him.
Mm. So
But
you're saying
normally,
that?
normally
Go
by
ahead.
the time he got in his mid-teens, the women be to figured out what men to put him around to give him proper instructions about women and children.
What if he's not a part of the blood family? He's an outsider who just married into the family.
That
Is it?
it don't matter.
Oh,
It don't matter if he's still in the family. He around the same family kids.
right,
He still got to be dealt with. You
right.
can't keep that shit a secret,
Mhm,
right? This is why. Okay, so this is what's been going on in our community, and I've watched it in many different families while I was growing up, and I couldn't understand why they was doing it.
mhm,
But the adults that abuse the child, right? They don't say nothing to them, and then they shame the child into silence and tell them they can't tell the good man that the bad man did something to him.
mhm,
Right now, the justification was that if somebody corrected the bad man, then he gonna go to the other bad men, and they gonna come back and they gonna lock his ass up. So the women trying to keep the good man around end up protecting the bad man, but it keep hurting the children.
mhm,
It creates the cycles. Instead of fixing him when he young, my father said you been a willow when it's little, because when that motherfucker grown, it don't bend much,
mhm.
right? So you teach them the etiquette and the behavior of how to treat people and how to respect the youth because that's the future, and they
Right.
won't abuse the children when they become adults. But when you covering that shit up because they was kissing on their little cousin, and you trying to cover it up for him and never correct him, he can't never get that behavior corrected when he's young enough,
Mhm.
right? So that shit got to stop. You can't. We ain't finna do that. We not finna do that secret squirrel shit
Mhm.
because the children just keep getting hurt over and over again, and the bad man keep being in a position to do it because don't nobody want to tell the good man that the bad man doing bad things to the good kids.
Mhm.
And now he's creating monsters out of the hurt people, hurt people.
Mhm.
The way that you hurt me, the way that I'm gonna hurt somebody else type shit.
Right.
So you got to know how to stop that shit. That was
And you're
taught. That's Roman in origin. Their philosophy is the greatest love between a man and a boy.
mm,
But it goes back to Babylonian sex magic and Talmudic priesthoods sanctioning the abuse of Goyim children. That's where it traced back to its origin, where
right.
it became part of the religious institutions and the priesthoods. And that's why don't matter which religion you get in, all the priests is touching on kids
Mm-hmm.
in every religion, right? Because that's what the root of the religion is. The
Right.
Babylonian sacrificial rites, or the
Mm-hmm.
sacraments is what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And the sacraments is the blood rites and the blood rituals. So when we had to go to a conjure war, it was because Big Mama said there was too much blood being spilt on the soil. And she said Mother Earth was crying. So she said, y'all figure out, make it into a spiritual war, take it off the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get in the conjure war. So now we win the conjure war for the explicit purpose of cleaning the family trees up.
Right.
So we start doing training at the doula center. They the ones who teach you the family um, um, arbitration, right? Because the family member need to correct the family first before you throw them to the state. The state is for the ones that can't nobody fix,
Right.
right? So that's why you have different levels of jurisdiction over the youth. Conjure war mean that you use spiritual rituals and practices in order to fight a war that would otherwise be fought with blood and guts.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad I decided to get on. Oh my gosh. That really put a whole different perspective on this. Wow.
You see
I
that
appreciate
comment I
you.
put? That's like that's anybody that do research on the missing children. This is the same data that they're gonna come to.
Mm-hmm.
This the same. All this is the same data I came to.
Yeah. So, just to be clear, for that particular subject, as far as the violation of in the family, you're saying that it should, back in the day, it was dealt with through the women, but now, what about now? Is it still, should it
The
still be dealt
women
with the
would
same
pass
way?
the guy over to the men if they needed the man to correct them.
Oh, okay.
Normally, when the women is correcting me because it's a child, when it's an adult, they normally say, "Okay, pass this over to this elder because if they give it to her daddy, he gonna overreact. But if you give it to her uncle, he gonna react accordingly."
Mm-hmm.
They know the nature of us and which one of us to assign to go correct that motherfucker.
Right. Okay.
Like they not gonna send me. I'm the last one they gonna send. When they send me, they already know what to expect, so they're not gonna send me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
they'll send one of my brothers because they're gonna get a different approach to the problem.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
All right, sweetie, I'm gonna let you drop down and I'm gonna take another caller in, okay?
All right. Good night.
I'm not sure. Are you familiar with Mount Kenya?
In Kenya?
Yeah, the mountain they call Mount Zion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of affiliated with the ambassador of Mount Kenya. So I've been following him. Um, and it's funny because I got, I don't want to say put on, but I was on
He was
Facebook.
he was the one who gave us the report when they said they was about to send some motherfucking wham wham over to them about Black Panther, right? He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like on the front of the reporting on that.
yeah,
The guy you talking about?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I know you're talking about. I always want to make sure I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah, so it's funny. So back in, I probably got put on to you back in, I want to say about 2020, and it's kind of crazy because my dad had died in August, and you kind of look like him a little bit. You got kind of that same I gotta put it like the speech, like y'all got that same type of voice, like it's like kind of low, but it's very impactful. Like when you talk, like it ain't no playtime type situation. So I kind of gravitated towards that. And then just the stuff you were speaking on, it was kind of related to the things I was going through, should I say. Um, so like my dad died probably a week before his birthday, because his birthday was August 18th. And
My
I actually
father,
went,
August 21st.
yours August 21st?
My father.
Your file, see? So I actually went to Kenya that year to go to the mountain uh, of August 2020. And there was
That's the real holy mountain. The fake holy mountain is in the Middle East.
right,
And they call that one Mount Zion too.
right.
But it's the mountain from the imposters.
But that's the one in Israel. You saying that's the imposters?
That's where the imposters came in. The Mount Kenya is the real holy mountain. Them motherfuckers up there got the real keys to the motherfucking conjure.
Right.
They can manipulate the energy faster than most of these machines. You up there dealing with the real masters. That's where the Egyptian priesthood studied with them.
Right. Yep. So that's basically what I've been doing, just trying to help spread the message, spread your message. Free Larry Hoover. Um, free all the chiefs of the land. And I've been on the same type time everybody else. That understand what's going on, trying to get that information together. I've been trying to work on getting my genealogy together because I got people in my family that spoke on one of my great grandmoms. She spoke on how we had native lineage, but it's kind of cut off. Just trying to get back and talking to certain people.
So, we got some invites to do. Food all on my face. We got some invites to do, and then we're gonna get into the video. I got a couple people. I got guests coming in, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna do my first invites, and then I'm gonna pull the guests in. I selected the title, "Reviewing the Roots of the Work." The roots of the work is basically another way of saying cashing the receipt. The roots of the work is at the core of it. What did you do? Okay, so I just named it that. It seemed kind of appropriate for who we have as guests because we dealing with the Haitian Revolutionary Conjure and the closing of it, right? So bring your research and what it do, Teddy? We gonna take this from there.
Peace and blessings, Alapia. Peace and blessings, everyone. How y'all doing tonight?
Man, I love the shit out that hat, man.
Man, I appreciate. I've been getting some crazy reviews on it, especially in Mississippi.
Yeah,
I hat place. They gave me a bunch of hats and asked me to do some of their hats now. So that's kind of funny. How you doing, guy? How you doing?
For them to ask you that, it's the reason that they ain't just ask you just to be asking you. So y'all got to pay attention because he done went back to the Holy Land, the real Holy Land, and these hats all mean something different. He got on the top hat. So when you went down there, they was looking at you as the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter is one of the brothers to come to tear shit up. Because you know who wear the top hat.
Yeah.
The Baron wear the top hat.
Yeah.
Ledford wear the top hat. Right? And sometimes Ogun wear the top hat. But when you wear that top hat, yeah, So they probably thought you was the Mad Hatter that gave you all them hats.
Everywhere I go, you know, I don't take credit for nothing. Bobby Hemmett was the one that initially put me on it. Hold on, before we do anything else, I know this you're live. Whenever you're ready. But
Stop. Do what you're doing. I gotta follow through with that. That's a call from the ancestors for y'all that don't know.
I stay. For all the known and unknown ancestors, for all the unknown and unknown revolutionaries, teachers that have been teaching us from Dr. George Washington Carver, Bobby Hemmett. There's so many more, but I always want to say something. We got to show love to our ancestors and all the great teachers, known and unknown. I say. And most definitely respect to you, OG, for the knowledge you're putting out there for us. The Phoenix, who's going to be on here shortly. I say. Well, I'm sorry, what we saying now?
Oh, you good? We going into what you own. Well, I was going into a little bit of the topic because I named it reviewing roots out of work. You know, when you work the conjure, they call it working the root. Right. And so what everybody, all of the people that keep accusing me of casting conjures don't know how dumb they sound. I came to make the motherfuckers who had open conjures close that shit. Why would I open one up at the close of the age, which is an asinine thing to do? So that lets you know that they don't even know what the fuck they talking about.
Or option two, they agents. I've noticed something. I've been noticing a lot of people being in the live don't really be for it. But it's a trillion things you could be doing while you're here unless you're an agent. So some people, they just try to just talk. People don't even have knowledge anymore. You just talk to hear some talk. You know what I'm saying? And they missing everything. Sometimes with the word, like they getting caught up in messages, they getting caught up in all this. But you just find you something to do. You know what I'm saying? Ever since what you asked me to do, I did it. And when I did it, I can tell you for myself, for my business, for my family, things change immediately. I can't go into like paraphrasing it in 5 minutes, but when I tell you, I was just walking through communities and people were just acting real different to me, whether they've seen any of my videos or not. They were just responding to me different. When I went to New Orleans, it wasn't 5 minutes. You can ask anybody. It wasn't 5 minutes into New Orleans, but people approached me like, "Yo, pop the trunk. We want whatever you got." You see what I'm saying? When I go to Mississippi, the white folks open the door for me. How can we help you, sir? You know what I'm saying? So what you said came true, and we just got to get back into our rituals. And tonight is a powerful full moon. I think that we let so many full moons and eclipses pass us. I'm not saying that you're supposed to utilize every single one of them, but we really need to start tapping into our rituals more. And what you did to help me, and the rituals you was explaining to me, and I did it. I saw immediate results. No cap, no lie, no pun intended. So appreciation.
In order to be able to move that energy, you had to be spiritually strong, so to speak. Your rank high in the spirit. Your spiritual essence strong. You're gonna see immediate results. And then they wouldn't have had you put in the work you did 200 years ago, right? Or 250 years ago, if they thought you wasn't going to be able to close it out now.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? So when everybody is called, they can't use half-assers. When you finna do something this big, you can't use half-assers. The only thing the half-assers can do is half-ass their way out the way. Because they only in the way. So now, when you know, that's why I keep reiterating it over and over. All of the masters you read about in the books is back.
I see.
They all back. Every last one of them. They back.
And you know what's funny? In the prophecies, all those prophecies, they're saying the exact same thing. They're coming back. They're coming this. I was on the phone with I'm in out here in New Orleans with Sister Jada. I'm out in Mississippi now. But she was saying that, if you look at these prophecies, I ain't gonna say too many words because my Facebook just got banned for saying too much. But all of them saying the same thing, that the ones that are prophesying in these prophets' names or these so-called prophets' names aren't gonna be the real ones. That's what they said in the Quran. That's what they said in the Torah. That's what they say in the Bible. And there'll be a time where the prophet Yahshua will say, none of y'all, I don't know none of y'all. And this was only but 2,000 years ago. So who was he talking about? Like clearly he's saying, I don't know none of you. So I don't try to debate with none of these people. I don't try to explain nothing because we're trying to debate. It's not intelligent to debate with the ones that they're saying are the agents. The Quran specifically said that the desert Arab is the worst Muslim.
Yeah. The Bedouins, the word that they use for desert Arab in the translation is Bedouin. Muhammad said the Bedouin is the worst of the unbelievers. For they stand in your face and say, yes, we believe.
And in their heart, they don't.
But
Hey,
they
you,
shirk.
hey. Oh, you on it. Yeah, that's our deep right now.
Yeah. You say, but they shirk.
I
That they
say,
hypocrites.
hypocrite.
They bearing false witness. They are kafarum, concealing what they know to be true. The munafiqun. Right? So they be having motherfuckers cute. Like they had Salman Rushdie, they stabbed him 30 years later. They couldn't find him because he was hiding from them. 30 years later, he doing the live speech. I think he was over here somewhere in the States, probably New York, and they stabbed him. The same motherfuckers that's calling you a hypocrite is being hypocritical. Now make this shit make sense. They say they follow the sunnah of the prophet, but it looked like they sooner or later following some shit that nobody ain't telling them to follow, including the prophet. Now, whenever they need a hadith so they can justify some bullshit, they're going to make one up and say it was from a trustworthy source. Well, why ain't nobody ever read this motherfucker?
Well, the thing is, they weren't expecting us to read it in period. That's the thing. A lot of stuff you can read, the numbers, the timelines, everything else is right there in our face. We don't do, like you said, the due diligence of reading and trying to comprehend what's really putting out there. Even when we talking about this, Kanye's right. It's deeper than just saying Kanye's right. It's deeper than just the little thing they wear in their head. It's deeper than the little fake sideburns. Who did it better? You know, I'm not trying to compare myself or put myself on the scale with none of them. That's a copy of a copy, which ain't never gonna come out right. You feel me? I'm trying to tap into. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to tap into. Well, everybody's trying to ignore the esoteric part or saying like that's something. I just feel like, even like I said, going back to this, that's something that Bobby Hemmett put on us. You know what I'm saying? And when you were talking about the feds versus the feds versus the feathers, and it's just certain things I put together. Now, with what we know now, there's certain stones I wouldn't like. All that sacrifice shit, that shit is dead. All that damn getting rid of the poor righteous teachers, or that this ain't that age for that. They had their age, but vice versa.
The declaration been made. No longer shall the righteous suffer for the indignations of the wicked. You can no longer offer the blood of the righteous to redeem you from your wickedness. Enlil accept that shit. Inky, I9, and Nortu Hootie accept that shit. Right? So Inky and I9 are leaving after the coronation. Enlil punk asses are indisposed. Right? So that just leaves Tahuti here. Off. And he not accepting no motherfucking sacrifices. You won't sacrifice the righteous blood because under the old law, the righteous blood should not be spilled in vain. But under the new law or under the new regime, the rule is no longer shall the righteous suffer for the indignation of the wicked. Every motherfucker that do the dirt shall reap the harvest of the dirt they done themselves. They shall not pawn it off on another. That's where I'm at with it. So if they want to push it off on somebody else, you can try it. That shit definitely gonna backfire in multiples of 1,000 because it's been declared at the beginning of the new age. The Aquarian age is not an age where we're gonna be accepting blood sacrifices of the righteous, and that's just the way it is. And anybody who's planning on being here need to learn that and learn it quick.
I think the ones that gonna know, they're the ones that's gonna know. Commenting, yeah, but yeah, OG, I know we had a couple things on currency. I say, all hail SikApe, all hail SikApe.
Yeah,
I say, guys.
I say.
It ain't all the soul get here.
I say.
Look, you see, I got mine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All hail SikApe. I know tonight I wanted to speak on the a couple things. One of the things is I'm in Mississippi. I'm not really on Mississippi on a social visit per se, or because family they got some other stuff going on in Mississippi. So I'm gonna throw this out here. Yeah, I'm doing some. I just went to the Mississippi River the other day, did a little thing. I'm trying to upgrade some ways of thinking. And I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. We got 216 people plus ourselves, right? I'm gonna throw this out here right now. When we fight this law system, we're not fighting with words no more. We ain't fighting with hands, none of that. We fighting with these herbs. And I'm throwing this as free gems, free money. Like people charge you for this. Black mustard seed and black poppy seed, black mustard seed, black poppy seed. That seal in every courtroom, that seal on every badge. If you keep black mustard seed and poppy seed every time, keep it closed tight. But every time you see that, you throw it. If you go into the courthouse and just try it, black mustard seed, black poppy seed, take it into the courts and throw it in the courts. You will fuck up that whole turbulence. Don't take my word for it. Case 0146. But I had to come down here because they just killed another child. And that's just I'm from Gulfport. That's normal. I ain't about to get out there and talk too much about it because I'm from Gulfport. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Florida, but I was raised in Gulfport, so we know what it's hitting for. They do this every couple of years because we down here with something called the Dixie Mafia. And the Dixie Mafia is it is what it is. Like I say, because we didn't know what we know now. I got too much juju for them now, and that's why they don't want to come back to Mississippi. But that's why I'm here. I'm hollering at some big mamas, talking to them. I'm hollering at some strong brothers and sisters or whatever, all the way back and forth to New Orleans. And I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, Florida, New Orleans, Mississippi, all that was one, and it still is one if we want to take it back to that. Because like I said, we never surrendered, and as you see, we not dead. So I really want to.
They stole my land, but I keep seeing it every time I look out the window.
Right. So, but I'm gonna say this, kind of like I think I was telling y'all, you have to understand and understand. Right now, they desperate, right? So I was talking to OG, and I was telling him earlier today, everything that you have been speaking out, and I went back and I've been watching your videos since 2018. It's all coming to fruition. Like the receipts is receipting. Like anybody saying, well, where the receipts is in the news every day. So it's already been game over. And I mean, this is on a global scale. So whether it's been OG Rod, whether it's Divine Insight, whether it's been colleague, whoever it is that you can listen to or follow, all of the information is coming through. So, and it's like me, obviously, I'm from an astrologer galactic level. So to me, when I'm looking at the stars, I read it like a newspaper. So they're trying to do different things, like you said, because they used to the old ways where they could do blood sacrifices and the shit ain't working. And they not understanding and they fighting for their life, but to fight over. And like today, obviously, was the blood moon lunar eclipse. They even tried to plan and push back. But you see what's happening in Brazil. If you haven't been saying what's happening in Brazil, that's an Oshun pool down there, what's going on in Brazil. You see a hurricane coming in or get ready to come through in Florida. That's some Oshun Yemiya, Mami Water pool. If you over here and you see, the energy that's going on, all of this stuff is galactic. And what you understand, the house of Taurus is the house of financial security, stability, and finance. And what it is it hits Uranus. So if you know what Uranus is, the great awakener, the sudden change. And Taurus is about structure. I don't want to move. I don't want to go nowhere. What it's saying is, I don't give a fuck what you want. This shit is moving, it's going, this shit is done, it's over. And Scorpio coming in to knock it out. And it hits the opposing of the sun, which is the over planet, masculine energy, Mercury, communication, and the south node, which is the direction you are to go no more. So it opposes all of that. And so where Uranus and where Taurus is the north node, which is the direction we are to go. And it also was hitting as far as in the moon. And then Uranus is the great awakening. So it's saying I'm having a whole electric, and it's almost like a double contundra, really almost a triple. So you got an eclipse, which is, and a full moon, which is double. And it shows shaking shit, they don't know what to do. And like I was kind of telling y'all, from March 7th, because just like we got natal charts, America, or really it's Britain, because we know that they're all colonies, has their natal chart too. The day that they claim their birth is coming to fruition. And their fruition and their chart is hitting on March 7th, 2023 and March 23rd, 2023 with the Pluto in Aquarius and Saturn in Pisces return. What that means basically is all that shit is done. That Pluto Aquarian shit ain't happened. This ain't no once every 3 years, like when you say, oh, Mercury in retrograde, my stuff is messed up, I can't. No, this is, I'm shutting all your shit down, like over.
Okay.
And that's why his money system gone. That's why that 10-foot wall went up in the Federal Reserve. That's why when you say DC is permanently closed, this shit is permanently motherfucking closed. This bitch ain't opening up. I don't even know why. It's CGI. This shit is not real.
Phoenix, what day did we switch into Taurus?
Well, we're actually in Scorpio, but we switched to Taurus. That Taurus is in April, but I'm saying from the eclipse energy, this is, because when you have
I'm just trying to slow you down so the people that's watching, because I was keeping up, but I was saying, because it was kind of hard for me to keep up. So when it's hard for me to keep up, I got to slow you down. It's because a lot of the people be like, what's he talking about? So the energy that we read.
Okay, so the paper we reading is, when you can say basically the energy we moved in is when Scorpio season started. So that's when these eclipses, and really actually it kind of started moving in April when we started moving to the Taurus Scorpio eclipses. That's when this energy really started.
When you say Taurus Scorpio eclipses, can you explain that a little bit?
So eclipses, in layman's terms, is beginnings and endings. It's when you have the sun, so the solar energy, and the moon I'm trying to put it in layman terms. Basically, it's eclipses, it's portals, openings, gateways, doorways. So if you have anybody used to listen to Divine Insight, when you say rainbows are portals or gateways or openings, that's astrologically. We know that we're not just on Earth. Like, we know beings is in here. So they're here. Like, I don't know no other way to say it. Like, they are here. And the portal.
Right, we already got that. I'm trying to get them get you slow down enough for the people to be able to keep track with when the energy shifted, how the energy, what does it mean when it's shifted? What do it look like in the 3D? So I was just taking you step by step.
Okay, so
we going into Taurus, Scorpio eclipses, and now we have a eclipse and the blood moon on the same in the zodiac sign of Scorpio.
And the year of the tiger. This is the year of the black tiger as well.
The year of Shango, which is Shango's energy.
With the big year 6, year of Shango. That's why I said, because we talk to you all the time, I'm already with you because you've been prepping me on this for some years now. But it's just like the year of Shango, the year 6. You know what 6 is. I know what 6 is. 6 came to do what we gonna do: destroy and rebuild. We're gonna flip it, like you say, flip 180, flip south, 180, flip north, right? 72 each way around. So that's a 3. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's like boom. But this is the year of Shango. Let's start there. This is the year of Shango. Hold on.
And if somebody put Mars retrograde in Gemini, so yeah.
So and then everybody's saying Taurus is money
right now. Yeah.
Taurus is the bull. That's why when you're talking about stocks, you're looking at the bull and the bear. Taurus is money. By being Scorpio, that's money, but it's also just as quick as it is to reward you. Because my mother's a Scorpio. Just as quick as it is to reward you, it's also quick to punish you. As you see, there will be blood on this, like anything with a tiger, there's blood. Anything with a scorpion, there's going to be attacks. Shango, there's attacks, but it's strategic. It's political. Shango is political. So I'm sorry.
It's also traumatic, right? Because Scorpio is all or none, right? So it's not no hiding. It's not no grays. And kind of also when you look at Taurus Scorpionic energy, it's if you haven't been doing right, so whether it's eating right, whether you haven't had your energy, it's the Anubis energy. Think about it, light as a feather. It's weighing of the heart, right? So we are literally in Anubis energy of the weighing of the heart. So if your shit ain't been right, that's why, like, if y'all been seeing videos online where they're saying kids was in school and it seemed like they're falling out, whether you want to say it's because of the shot or the energy, no, but DNA is upgrading. So when people were saying about eating right, I'm not saying people have to all be vegan or whatever, but the energy in the crystalline DNA in the weighing of the heart, the Anubis energy is on the planet. Like,
consequences.
So let me go into the consequences of the Anubis energy. So you know the Mexican hairless dog, the Zoloto. Right, that's not the jackal that they tell us from Egypt. It's the dog from Mexico. Right, when Anubis comes with Tahuti, they call it the brothers of destruction.
Right,
because the father Osiris is followed by a black dog. The great father is followed by the black dog, and the black dog is Canis Major.
Yes.
Right. But the black dog is followed by a puppy because right behind it is Canis Minor. Right, so that's a three parent lineage on the father line. So Tubal Cain. Okay, what that means is it's a father, a son, and a grandson all working to be righteous to the same degree. So we come across in the translation of the stars. Is the great father walks with a black dog, and the black dog comes with a puppy. Right? Because Canis Major is followed by Canis Minor, and Canis Major is on the heels of Osiris, or as we call him, Orianos. Right? So his belt is the 3 sisters. Right? He used the 3 sisters to flip the mother line. But if the 3 sisters pick the sun, then they bump the sun to a 4-corner shuffle. That flipping to the other side of the star system. Because the Tubal Cain in the 4-corner shuffle is the 7 sisters of the Pleiades. The Pleiadian seal. And the Pleiadian seal, as above, so below, is the La Palma Islands. Right? What we call the Canary Islands. And the Canary is the first in the motherfucking cave when the mining expedition go on, because they the most sensitive. So when the 7 sisters seal you, you seal for show. And when the father line flip you off a 2-ball cane for the mother line to give you a 4-corner shuffle, they validating who you is by not even telling you nothing because they're doing it in your face behind your back. Now, when you were saying you went to some of my old videos, remember, I said when the energy grid start to shift and the energy start to upgrade, and Big Mama turned their mitochondrial off.
Yep,
Remember
you did.
I said that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said they're going to come up with every excuse to tell y'all why these motherfuckers is just dropping dead, but they really not going to be able to tell you the truth.
Because you talked about that mitochondrial DNA. You sure did.
So that was what, 2018?
That was 2018.
So we in 2022. So that's at least 2.5 years. So I was telling them 2.5 years ago that they're gonna cut when the mitochondria starts to get shut off. They're not gonna have an explanation. What's the cause of sudden adult death syndrome?
I don't know. Talk to me. Tell me.
They don't got no cause of death.
They don't have one.
I want to say it, but like I said, I got a couple of my other pages blocked already. But consequences. We're going to say consequences because you didn't listen, because you didn't use rational sense. What common sense? Rational sense. You let motherfucker play with you like a guinea pig. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
it ain't that. Before that shit even came about, I said this.
It's the crystalline. It's the crystalline. Like it's the.
Now that could be a contributing factor to some of the cases, but it was going to happen anyway.
Like I believe.
Some of the ones running around calling themselves gods, and didn't do that self work, and didn't get that dirt and no good writing inside of.
That shadow work is a requirement.
They trying to beat Big Mama out their head by running their head into the walls.
It's the cleanup. It's the cleanup. That's why everybody not gonna go. It's a lot of people not gonna go. I'm telling you, it's the cleanup.
You know what's funny? I'm glad you said that part. I'm sorry.
My thing is, if they over 12, kill them all.
Yep.
If they over 12, kill them all. We'll start with the youth.
That's what they. Yep.
OG, I ain't gonna lie. She said some real stuff. She was like, everybody ain't gonna make it, but for the ones that do, right? I'll be on some aces and places stuff. I'm real big on black economics. We've been talking about this for years as well. And one of the places we can start is funding our own. If we're saying that we're at war, then funding the soldiers, funding the shit that the people need, fund the centers, fund all this type of stuff. And when I'm saying funding, it ain't always about money. I think we should all, like the same way we said back in the day, each one teach one. There's all of us out here talented and stuff. Brick masons, teachers, hair stylists, everything, bro. You know your art. You know your. I really want to just get to a point where, especially since you got so many people that just love you, get people to sign up for a situation where they're offering talent, they're offering their God-given abilities and stuff like that, or what they do or bring to the collective. You see what I'm saying?
They don't have to in a minute, because just like when I sent the thing about the Bitcoin, like we talked about the Federal Reserve, in a minute, this whole thing's going to come down crashing. You know, we've been told, I mean, people are prepared for the fiat thing, but I'm going to tell you what a lot of people aren't prepared for is this crypto thing. A lot of people in the conscious community have invested in crypto because they were ill-advised, and this shit should be shut down, I'm telling you. So they're going to be coming running, and they're going to have to barter. They're going to have to trade. They're going to have to use gifts, talent, skills, and abilities amongst one another and amongst tribes. And my thing and the message that the spirit and the ancestors told me to make sure I convey is one, be prepared, because a lot of us aren't prepared, but most importantly, not to fall into a spirit of depression, because I'm telling you, like, I really sense it and I see it, because a lot of people, I'm saying, within the conscious community, they've invested a lot of money preparing and thinking, I'm ready for this when this fiat fall, and this shit gonna come down. So they're going to do it because they're not going to have but a choice to do it. They are, because we're going to have the nation build. That's it.
So what we don't realize is we've been building a nation in a nation the whole goddamn time. They thought we was dead.
Yeah.
They thought we was laying down and that we wasn't learning nothing from history. They didn't think none of us paid attention to Marcus Garvey. They didn't think none of us paid attention to Du Bois. They didn't think none of us paid attention to Booker T. Washington or Carter G. Woodson. They absolutely forgot about Malcolm. They thought we were some scared to death ass Negroes that wasn't going to listen to Malcolm, and that we was only going to listen to Martin until that nigga got militant. Then they decided we're going to kill this nigga to show the motherfuckers not to stand up. But they thought there was none of us paying attention. I'm going to tell you this. Elijah Muhammad's job was to build us a military.
Right.
The tribes, the tribal leaders is to make the noise for your tribe to know where you at. What's up, buddy?
He said he puts peace and harmony on everybody.
Thank you.
Go back to bed, dude.
That's my little. That's a little boy. That's a little young guy. That one right there. I told you that one right there. That one right there. He's fish.
But I don't know if that's gonna be feasible because we probably gonna want somebody else on the dollar. We probably ain't gonna want no people. We probably gonna want to use totem animals or something. I'm on the $50 bill. King motherfucker Kong, Gorilla Gride, GD Ride up this motherfucker.
No, yeah, this is
Big 50 in the house.
This is X Raw, his thoughts in Alabama Riverfront Brawl. I think you talking about that when they fighting on that boat. I think that's what he talking about. That boat.
That's exactly what they talking about. You know, Treaty of the Hat. He threw his hat in the air.
Yeah.
Right. It's the Treaty of the Hat. It's the war call.
Yeah. Why would they? Yeah, I wonder why they promoted that shit like it was just some kind of.
So you would go Google. So you would go to Google and type in Treaty of the Hat. You got to remember, they broke every treaty. They never honored one because they didn't think that we was going to ever figure out who he is and hold them to the reality that they fraudulently created contracts under false pretenses. Half of the treaties were signed with $5 Indians that ain't from here.
Right, that's right.
They brought them with them and dressed them up like us with feathers and shit, our ceremonial garb that we wear for Mardi Gras. They put that on them motherfuckers like we wear that shit everywhere we go.
That's right.
We dress up for Mardi Gras all over the country.
That's true. That's true.
All of a sudden we forget that we dress up for Mardi Gras. We finna celebrate this shit. This is hostile takeover. This is the getting rid of the corporate fiction from off the land. The war already been being fought. While y'all was sitting here watching this Biden fiasco and the Ukraine fairy tale story, the war already been being fought, guerrilla style and guerrilla warfare all over the world.
Right.
All you got to do is look up the forest fires. Why in the fuck is it that many goddamn forest fires?
Right.
Because those people who was making all that money, they was hiring and training private military. They was buying boys from China and Korea and as little boys and raising them up to know nothing but war. Right? So they had to be annihilated. If you wasn't one of them, you was the automatic enemy. When they send you up, when they send them out, they come out and tear shit up. Them they sleeper agents. They was getting other kids in other parts of the world doing this Jason Bourne shit on them.
Right. So the white people, like somebody say, like it's gonna be a war, but like a civil war or a racist war between whites and blacks. See, that's the game that they playing. The white and black.
That
game.
was part of that was part of the divide and conquer strategy.
Right.
Because if you know American history for real, you would know that before there was one slave over here, it was pale faces walking around on the land with us.
Right. Right.
Right. How do you think Maman Brigitte got into the pantheon of the Orisha? She a red-haired white girl.
Go ahead.
Right. How did she get there? Because we already had people of high mystic value coming from all over the world to learn here. Right. This is the great metropolis of learning. Whatever you do over here, if you don't do nothing else, learn something.
That's right.
Right? So now at the end of these conclusions, what have we learned? The local government is the most important government to reclaim because that's how the people in the community take back their community. And if enough of us take back our community, we can meet the needs of the community better because it's in the hands of the people who live there. A lot of these communities was redlined and X'd out because we had nobody from the community who understood what was going on in the community and said, oh, they don't need nothing, they ain't asking for nothing. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. So by taking back the local government, by organizing a new city council, overthrowing the old one, the legal fiction, they'll let you go, they'll get out your way. Right? We did several videos on that. Because local government is the only control you truly have. That federal shit, that shit made up. That's a circus. That's a dog and pony show to keep you deluded as to what's going on in your face. What purpose do politicians serve? They don't write no motherfucking law. They get the law that was written from a motherfucking group of lawyers in a room somewhere.
It's just about money to me. That's
all it is.
What is money gonna get advocated to? That's all they do.
Right. So they come in and they criminalize what's natural to the people to make the people a natural criminal. Wow. Pay attention. Wow. The things that you do naturally, smoke marijuana, smoke cigarettes, right? They put restrictions and bans on it. So that's going to make you be they automatically belligerent to you.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Make your natural culture illegal. And then, you know what I'm saying? So you got to do what you naturally do. They can now bastardize you and criminalize you for doing what you naturally did on your land. Like with Bob Marley. Bob Marley, he's a Rastafarian, so in his religion, he can smoke, right? So I think he came over to America with a certain amount of marijuana, a couple of pounds, I think, and they arrested him, but they had to let him go eventually because they said that, it was part of his religion. He had like 5 pounds or something. It was crazy, right? At the airport and shit. Yeah, so it is protection for indigenous people in the Indigenous Rights Act.
Right. So the Indigenous Rights Act is not a law, and they're not law. Okay. What they is a descriptive analysis of at what part of them resisting our culture are we at. So they telling us in the Indigenous Rights Acts, if we follow our own culture, oral traditions, be self-determining, and prove it, right? Yeah. Then they gonna get out our way.
So that's all we gotta do.
That's all it means.
We gotta self-determine. Be self-determined, man.
Yeah. So that's what's the problem with Baba. The problem with Baba is he was setting up the structure back up. He was reforming the community and buying up land.
Go ahead.
Right? That became belligerent to the system because he would start automatically going back to our tribal culture.
Right.
Right. So they take him out to bust the tribe up. Right. So now that get him a little bit longer to play their game.
Yeah, because it was almost over with for him, man, right then.
Yeah, Baba had him in the headlock. The entire record of the United Nubian Nations and more gonna be a bad mofo when he put it out.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, Let's Set the Record Straight was just the excerpt from it.
Yeah. See, look, it's some stuff that Baba didn't get a chance to. Yeah, but see, we working on some of it right now, man. We just ain't talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bottom line, Chief, what needs
I see. I was reading the question.
Okay. Hey, real quick.
It's really literally about how aware are we of our culture, and some people over here did ancestry do trace back to Africa, but the tribes that was already here is the ones we focused on, and we don't have no problem with nobody as long as they don't try to interfere with us restoring the matriarchy and rebuilding the clans' tribal rights, restoring the tribal rights back to the clans, right? We can clean the streets up in a week. We can stop the violence in a day. But you can't do none of that when your enemy is ruling over you, causing these things to transpire on purpose, and we not doing nothing to stop them. The internet is just a tool, people. It's like a wrench in a toolbox. And I don't be on here all day, every day, right? Contrary to popular opinion. But I do know what I'm talking about. And I do know that the entirety of this shit show is about to come to a grand finale real soon.
Right. That's right. Says what about an article? That's interesting. That's my first time hearing that.
Look, America never honored a treaty, nowhere. All of their position of treaty power was predicated up on a constructed fraud. All of the treaties for the corporation known as America is canceled. It's just bankrupt and defunct. No longer operational. We need to start looking at what is it going to be like when we get back into the position to reap the benefit of the resources that we produce from our labor and from our land.
Right.
Right. So whether you think I'm a chief on the internet or not, it don't matter to me. Only thing matter to me is I put it in the public domain. Right. That what takes place is according to procedure. Mm-hmm. All I'm doing is showing y'all the receipts for what I'm talking about, so y'all can have a clear understanding of what I'm saying, because sometimes I sound neurotic, but I know exactly what I be saying. But it be so far-fetched to a person that's conditioned to doing something one way that it sounds like it's wrong or that it's crazy. But that's only because you fighting your conditioning, not what I'm showing you, because I'm showing the receipts.
Right. Right. Shit, who is they? Who has surrendered our stuff? Oh yeah, she ain't been. She must just count on, Rod. They look like us, but they ain't us. The laws.
Yeah. So, like I was telling them earlier, we already seized 650 airplanes full of gold from the Vatican. We seized the World Bank and International Monetary Fund for fraud and taxing the American people. Right. Under international law, we had a right to seize the corporation because they was committing, by the number of people and the amount of money, it was a gross felony in a high degree. It was like the same as trying to overthrow somebody's foreign government. But the banks was using the inflation fractional reserve banking process in order to steal the wealth of the people, and the people steady reaping less and less benefit for their labor and for the fruits of the land. They were sending the money to other people. We had to go seize all that back. He told you who he was. If he wasn't who he said he was, they'd have shut him up by now. Mm-hmm. If he wasn't who he said he was, them motherfuckers with them black suits would have been over there shutting him up. So I gotta believe that he exactly who he say he is, because I ain't seen no motherfuckers with no black suits run up on him. They came to see me at work, try to find out what I want. I'm not negotiating with you motherfuckers. I want my people to be made whole. I want you to stop pushing this homosexual agenda. I want you to stop pushing this rape campaign and misogyny and disrespect of the women and the men. You disrespect the women so bad it make the men disrespect themselves. That's some sour shit. You disrespect the women so bad, you make the men disrespect themselves. They have to little themselves down in order to be at the level of respect that they can get for their woman. Then she lash out, and we don't know how to fix it. Then we're not military savvy. But the man said who he is. They ain't popped up on him and told him, hey, you misleading people, because they ain't fact checked him. So he must be on to something.
So hey, that tribe is a mix. That tribe is actually a mixed tribe.
What tribe?
The Lakota people, they actually mix with Hoshin, the Armaks, and I think the Hindus.
Look, did you hear what that lady said? You hear what Big Mama said on that last video?
What she said?
About the master kids and the white woman knew?
Nah.
Them little mulatto kids running around blowing her husband?
Yeah.
Where them goddamn kids go? Where all them kids go?
That's a good question.
Most of them moved to the north and was passing. Who they marry? They passing. Where they live at while they passing? Who blood still in their veins while they passing, Elder?
Go ahead.